Happy 2014, Matador fans, and welcome into this week's edition of the Bullring. I'm your host, Derek Diesner, and for the next 30 minutes, we'll recap the month that was in Matador athletics. During today's show, we will sit down with head women's basketball coach Patrick Cunningham, assistant men's basketball coach Dominique Richardson. We'll even hear from our athletic director, Jerry Smith. And it's time to announce the January Student Athlete of the Month here at AWC. But up next, we sit down with head coach of the Matador women's basketball team, Patrick Cunningham, right here on the Bullring. Welcome back into the Bullring, everyone. Derek Diesner back with you. It's time to talk Matador women basketball, and with that, we welcome in head coach Patrick Cunningham. Coach, thanks so much for joining me. It's been a while.
I know, Bullring 2014, gotta love it.
Yeah, first time here in 2014. Now, let's backtrack a bit. Last time we talked, it was before or after the Phoenix game, I should say, but then your team was off for the holiday break, but you brought your team back a little bit earlier than the men's team because you had a tournament in Oceanside, California.
Yeah, I got to come back, play 3 games. We had an exhibition game against the SETI's team, so ultimately we were playing an extra game, but we played the teams we wanted to play. We just didn't play them in the right order, and we lost to Eastern Utah, we lost to Seward County in good games that we thought we'd play them in reverse order and play in the championship. That didn't happen. But we got ourselves kind of back and healthy and prepared for the conference play. And so, it was a successful, unsuccessful tournament for us. But at least it got our kids back and back into the groove.
Now, what'd you think of your kids' performance in that opening game against Saddleback College, knowing that you hadn't had much practice time? It was pretty much just show and go.
Yeah, that was the most impressive game of the 3, really, because we had 2 weeks off, and I thought we'd move the ball very well, and they did a lot of nice things offensively, and our defense has been real solid. So, and then we kind of lost our minds for a while against Eastern Utah. So, we're still inconsistent, but I think what it did, it helped us get back into conference play, and we've been playing well on the offensive side of the ball since conference started back up.
Now, even though it was losses against Eastern Utah and Seward, would you consider it a positive experience knowing that it's helped your team get ready for conference play?
Yeah, absolutely. What we've been trying to do is build that resume for the national tournament, so we want to play NJCAA teams, and unfortunately, we just haven't been playing well outside our conference.
Right.
We played 8 non-conference games, and we're 4-4, and we don't. Usually we do a lot better than that, but we've also played. It's been 3 teams from Kansas, and then Region 18 teams, 2 of those. So, we're out there. We're willing to play anybody, anywhere, and the results haven't been good for us, but I think it's going to help us build enough character that it's going to carry us, down toward the end of the year.
Now, here in 2014, you already have 3 games under your belt, and you've got back into conference play at South Mountain, at Mesa, and then home just this past weekend against Pima. What have you thought about your team and what you've seen in these conference games?
Yeah, I think defensively we're solid. We're playing well. I think we're doing a lot of good things. We're keeping teams, in the 50s or below, and 2 of the 3 games below 50. And so I think that's what's impressive. We're consistent right now defensively, and I think our offense is developing. We've been real proud of the way the kids have been moving the ball and getting good shots. We shot it extremely well at South Mountain, and that resulted in a blowout. And then Mesa was a struggle. A couple things didn't go our way. You lose in overtime, and then a couple things go your way in overtime, and you end up beating Pima. So, but I think we're doing the right things. Just gotta, if we can just not turn the ball over as much, I think we're making the right types of plays. But when we get in a hurry and try to do things a little too soon, that's when we get those turnovers. And once we get rid of those, I think we'll be pretty good.
Let's talk about that Mesa game. You go to overtime, you fall by 5, but you were without your star player that night.
Yeah, we left Samantha Wallace at home. She had a reaction to a hair dye incident, and that was unfortunate. But those are the kinds of things that you go through, at our level. And we missed her, but I think our kids responded well. Jamila McCarthy really put together a really good game, and again, those things happen. Could have been an injury or could have been anything else, and you got to learn to play without those guys.
Back-to-back games now that you guys have played and have went to overtime. Is your team a little tired?
Nah, I mean, they're okay. We've had overtime games. We had the double overtime game to start the league off, and we've had I think we had one more at least in non-conference. So, they're used to those tight games, and we try to tell them it's like it shouldn't have to come to that.
Right.
Do the little things, and then you guys won't have to be worried about those things. And so that's just the way it is. And our conference is elevated. It's play all the way down for the most part. So we got to come out and battle every night.
Looking at your schedule for this week, a couple of home games, Tohono O'odham on Wednesday and then Scottsdale on Saturday. And looking at your schedule overall, you have to be pleased with knowing that most of the games here in this second half are right here at home.
Yeah, I mean, the kids were really happy to get it home the other night. And, it's been since November since they'd played at home. So, we got the bottom of the league coming in with Tohono O'odham and Scottsdale. Those are teams that we need to beat, but we also need to improve ourselves while we're doing it. That's our big focus this week, is to get better playing teams that we're going to probably win the games, but we got to get better, and I'm going to get ready for that second round of the ACCAC.
Now, something that was announced at the start of this month, the January Student Athlete of the Month here at Arizona Western College is JC Pagala, a guard on your team. What made you choose JC?
She's relentless on the floor, and everybody sees that, but she's relentless off the floor in the classroom. I mean, she's got a high GPA. She does everything she's asked. She works hard, and she's got a great attitude, and again, she performs beyond expectations. I mean, she's just a little kid out there that wipes up the floor and gives it her 100% every time she's out there. And but she gives that same type of effort outside of the basketball arena and out in the classroom. So it was nice to see her. She had like 11 points and played really well the night that they gave her the award. Yep. And she's just been very, very consistent and steady Eddie for us. And I'm just really proud of the career she's put together here.
All right. Well, Coach, thanks so much for your time, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds good.
All right. That was head coach Patrick Cunningham of the Matador women's basketball team. It's time for us to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk with JC Pagala, our January Student Athlete of the Month here at Arizona Western College. That's coming up next, right here on the Bullring. Welcome back into the Bullring. It's time to meet the January Student Athlete of the Month, and that is guard JC Pagala of the Matador women's basketball team. JC, thanks so much for joining me, and congratulations.
No problem. Thank you.
Now, first off, I have to ask, what does this award mean to you?
Well, it shows that none of my hard work went to waste, and that I'm actually doing what my parents told me, and to exceed in the class first before exceeding on the court.
And that was something your coach Patrick Cunningham talked with us a little bit about. He was telling us how you have such a high GPA in the classroom, but you bring so much to this team on the court as well.
Well, like he mentioned, I'm not the greatest athlete, which I know I'm not, but my heart's in the game, so I tend to just go all out.
Now, this award, is a 50-50 split, what you do in the classroom, what you do on the court. But let's talk about the classroom. What really interests you in life, and what do you hope to major in when you leave AWC?
Well, I'm actually hoping to get into the Fire Academy. If not, if I go to a university to play, I'll probably major in sports medicine or kinesiology.
Okay.
And, well, with classroom-wise, I grew up with my dad as a teacher, so he always pushed me to get good grades. There was no excuse for getting a B, unless I was really struggling in class.
Now, do you have any schools in mind that you're hoping to attend after AWC, and do you plan on playing basketball anymore after AWC?
My parents, actually my whole family wants me to play for the university back at home.
Okay.
And I've been talking here and there with the coach, but it's been a while since I talked to him. If anything, if I don't play, I'll probably go to another community college.
Okay. So
that I can get into fire science. If not, it's whatever open doors there is.
All right. Now let's talk about your team. Pretty good start. You've been in the rankings here and there this season. What do you think so far of how this season has went, and what is this team's goals going forward?
Our team's goals is basically to just play play our heart out, listen to coach, and do what he says. I mean, we have the talent, I believe, compared to what I've seen. And this year, like, our competition is a lot better. So I would say we actually have a really good chance of making it to nationals, and that's what our team's pushing for, to get ready for Kansas.
All right.
And to get there.
Well, we all hope you guys get there this season. It's been a lot of fun watching your team. Congratulations again on this award, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right. That was guard J.C. Pagala of the Matador women's basketball team. It's time for us to take a break, but when we come back, it's time to talk Matador men's basketball with assistant coach Dominique Richardson right here on the Bullring. Welcome back into the Bullring, everyone. As you can tell, we're coming to you from the house on the campus of AWC, so it's time to talk AWC men's basketball, and with that, we welcome in assistant coach Dominique Richardson. Coach, thanks for joining me.
No problem, anytime.
Now, it's been a while since we've talked Matador men's basketball, and so we're going to have to backtrack a bit. In 2013, you close out the year with a road game at Phoenix that went to overtime. A tough loss for your team, and that had to leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, it wasn't a good trip. You know, we wanted to leave on the holiday break with a win. We just got in the rankings. We were ranked 22nd, so we were kind of excited. Those games before you go home after a long semester of kids focusing on their grades and just basketball, it was tough. You know, playing on the road, it was tough. We've been good all year on the road. And we had a little stump, but, you know, we got back on track, you know, coming back into the new year.
How hungry was this team to get back on the court in 2014 and get back to game action?
They were ready to prove a point. You know, they were kind of, you know, we were on an 11-game winning streak. You know, we were playing well, and then you have a game like that where you're up 10 with 3 minutes left in the game and you let one go. You know, you had to think about that for 2 weeks while you're off. So, seeing them when they got back in the gym, they were ready to go. You know, it was a hard practice, which it should be when you come off break, and just, you know, they're focused. You know, they've been focused ever since we've been back, and it's been a whole different team since that game.
Now, that first game back against South Mountain, a team that's towards the bottom of the ACC/AC standings, how hard was it to get the team ready for that game, knowing that you're coming off a tough loss at Phoenix, and the game after South Mountain's that big Mesa game that everyone had been looking forward to?
Yeah, I think they were looking forward to it, the Mesa game more than the South Mountain game. And then it really hurt us when we only had about 6 or 7 kids who could actually play, you know, that game. But, you know, South Mountain, they came out, played their hardest. You know, we coming off their first game, you know, you got to get in shape by playing, because we didn't run that much to practice before, but we stayed through it. They fought hard. We had a couple of guys that usually don't play a lot, you know, Akaji Diallo that played well for us that day, and Anthony Austin, like he's always is, getting to the basket, helped us with the win.
And you kind of touched on it. You've been down some bodies lately, but this team has been able to stick together and really grit out some of these wins. How impressed have you been with this team, knowing that you're playing a little short-handed, yet you're still, you know, providing these great results on the court?
Well, it's good. It's just with our coaching staff, I think, you know, keeping the players motivated. It's a lot of kids, you know, a couple of players that don't play a lot, but we just keep telling them, you know, wait your turn, your time is going to come. When it comes, be ready to play. And Akaji has done it. Brandon Lovins, ever since the North Idaho trip, he wasn't playing a lot before that game. He's been playing well for us. Ivan, if we can get him back, he gives us good minutes. And we wish we had Navante here. Here, you know, he would have helped us a lot. But the guys that we have here, they're stepping up. You know, EJ, he's hitting some big shots now. Ron, he's getting his touch back. You know, so as long as we keep it going, I think we have a good run of getting to Hutchinson, Kansas.
So do you know what the timetable is right now on Navante or even Mark Quinn too?
Right now, we haven't heard anything lately. I think Navante's supposed to be in either sometime this week. Okay. You know, he's doing well. Mark Quinn, I think he still has another couple of weeks. That bone hasn't closed yet, but he's staying positive. Tim J. Singleton, We're hoping to get him back in a couple of weeks. He's been showing his knee is getting a little better. He's walking around more without limping and stuff like that. So, getting Tim J and Devontae here at least, that'll get us back to our rotation, how we're playing. Marquin, he'll be a big help if he can come and finish out the year. We don't know how that's going to be right now, but, we're just staying focused on the goal, and that's winning the ACC, getting that district title as well, and then heading to Hutch.
Well, let's talk about the next game then. We're talking about South Mountain. Let's talk about that Mesa game, the one everyone was looking forward to.
Right.
You come out on top in thrilling fashion. What does a win like that do for this team?
It was big. Gave a lot of kids a lot of confidence. We kept telling them going in, by record, they're the best team in the conference, but we knew we had the better team. And over the 2 years I've been here, that game has always been exciting. We played them 3 times last year. They were all good games. This year, it was a good game. So, just seeing them playing against another team as caliber as us and then pulling out a win like that boosted their confidence up a little bit. Everybody played great. It was a great game. It was one of those games you like to be on get to see, be on the coaching staff as a player playing games like that for fans. Hopefully we can do another one like that when it comes to Yuma in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say that has to put a smile on your face too, to know that you beat them at their place, and now the next time you see them, it'll be right inside here.
Yeah, and that's what we kept telling you. If you can steal one from them on the road right now, we have a game up on them because they got to come back to Yuma.
Right.
And the conference title is pretty much in our hands. We just got to win out. It's tough, but we just got to take it one game at a time, and can't look forward to a couple of weeks from now when Mesa comes here. We got to worry about all the other opponents that come in.
Now, the other game that you've had recently was this past Saturday against Pima. Now, I know you weren't at the game. You were out doing recruiting, but pretty impressive win for the Matadors, knowing that short-handed and the guards really stepped up with missing Tim J. Singleton in the post. That had to be huge, knowing that these guards stepped up and were really firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, with this team this year, you really have to pick your poison. Do you want to stop the post play, or do you want to stop our guards from shooting or penetrating? And that's good about this team because you never know who's going to have a night. You have E.J. Twyman coming off the bench, scoring 22 points. Ron Lee, coming with 27. Anthony Austin had 15. Ali Farouk Bey had 15. And then you had Darius and Brandon and Ross controlling the boards. Right. It's a well-balanced team. Early in the year, it was our post players scoring, and then our guards getting 12 points here, 10 points here. Now it's now just a well-balanced attack. When you guys get 4 people in double figures in every game that you had, that's a very good team, and you're scoring the basketball.
Now this week you have Tohono O'odham here on Wednesday and then Scottsdale here on Saturday. You've already seen Scottsdale this year. You've seen Tohono O'odham play on this court, just not against you in the Classic earlier this year. So what kind of challenges do those teams present? Because it looks like Tohono O'odham's a really athletic team. Yeah,
Tohono O'odham, they got 2 of our ex-players, so that's really helped them a lot. They're gonna come in, they're gonna try to get up and down. They're also gonna they're gonna play with a lot of confidence because right now they're trying to stay in first place with Phoenix College in Division II standings of the conference. So they're a team. If you don't come ready to play, they will creep up on you, so we can't come out, flat-footed and stuff. But how these kids are, they just love playing the game. I know we're gonna come out confident, ready to play, because we're playing for first and they're playing for first. So, both teams gonna come out. If we do what we do, playing defense, push the ball, attack the basket, penetrate, kick like we've been doing, we shouldn't have a problem with them.
How big of an advantage is it going to be knowing that most of the games now for the rest of the season are all going to be played here?
It helps a lot. Coach Harold, he made the schedule for a reason, the preseason, to play a lot of road games, play a lot of those teams from the Scenic West Conference to get us prepared for, situations like this. We were the road warriors in the first semester, winning 7-1 on the road. So getting a lot of home games this semester helps, because now, this is our gym. We practice in every day. We know the rims and stuff, so we know the atmosphere, and we got the crowd behind us. So a lot of teams, they don't have big crowds, but we're used to it, so we use that to our advantage. It's going to help our players keep playing hard.
All right, final question for you. You guys dropped out of the rankings after that loss to Phoenix. You now beat Mesa, won a couple other games. You're 15-3, 9-1 in conference play. You think this team's going to be back in the top 25?
I believe so, but you know how it's been with these rankings and NJCAA. I think we got to beat a couple more of the Division I schools when we go in the second round. So, you know, we got Central and Eastern early and Cochise as well, so we can get another winning streak going. We should be back in the rankings. Honestly, if it was up to me, I'll just keep us out. You know, I think that's a jinx for us. Last year we were ranked, went up against Central and we lost, and this year we were ranked again. We played against Phoenix and we lost. So, you know, the rankings, it'd be nice to be ranked. It helps us, the school, it helps the kids be motivated, helps us in recruiting, but, you know, at the same time, just to keep us, our eyes just focus on winning the conference, being number one in our conference and having home court advantage throughout the playoffs. So that's our focus right now. If we get ranked, you know, that's a privilege, it's an honor.
Right.
But the focus right now is just staying number one in the conference.
Sounds good to me. All right. Well, Coach Richardson, thanks so much for your time and good luck this week.
Thank you, no problem.
All right, that was assistant coach of the men's basketball team, Dominique Richardson, here on the Bullring. It's time for us to take a break, but we'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back into the Bullring, everyone. Derek Diesner back with you, and it's time now to catch up with the man that runs this entire athletics department, our athletic director, Jerry Smith. Jerry, thanks so much for joining us. Welcome on to the Bullring.
Thank you.
I think this is the first time we've had you on this year.
First time this year.
All right. Well, 2014, this is our first episode of the new year. Let's talk a little bit about 2013 as a year, as a whole. I mean, it's been a fun fall season, and you think the women's soccer program in their first year of existence, and they had an impressive year.
Sure was. Had a lot of exciting things in the fall semester. Certainly women's soccer initiation and their success as not members of the ACCAC yet, but have now been accepted for next year, but had an outstanding season, made the playoffs, had some really good players and have a lot of returning players, so we're looking for great things for women's soccer.
Yeah, what did you think about how this community and the school really embraced the new team? Because the attendance seemed to be real nice at the games and the fans were loving watching that team.
Well, obviously soccer is a big sport for the Yuma community. We were extremely pleased with the addition of the new soccer complex and the addition of the women's soccer, and then the turnout at home games was exciting as we see the community support the men and women's soccer program.
Now, not the best start for the men's and women's soccer teams at home when they tried to open up the new field. Had a little bit of a problem thanks to Mother Nature.
Right, wasn't too exciting. It's one of the worst rainstorms and thunder and lightning we've had in the 10 years I've been here, so we got past that, and then everything else went smooth the rest of the season.
All right, one of the other fall teams that really put a smile on a lot of people's faces was the volleyball team, and Lady Matadors, led by head coach Jason Smith, had an outstanding 2013 year.
Certainly, we're always pleased when our teams are good enough to compete at the national level, and certainly our volleyball team won the conference championship, the region championship, and then the district championship, and represented us in Casper, Wyoming at the NJCAA National Volleyball Tournament.
And you were there, and even though the results weren't what the team wanted or expected, still a good showing, and that's something that the team can kind of build on for next year.
Sure. First time our team's been there in several years, so a new experience. Seems like the first time teams go, they just are proud to be there, and the next time they go, they want to perform well. And our team performed all right. We were competitive with everyone we played. We just couldn't get over the hump and win the number of games that we would like to.
Now, the other fall sport that we saw compete was the Matador football team, and an up and down roller coaster ride of a season for that team, but through it all they were able to stick together and still make it to this year's Fisher Automotive El Toro Bowl.
Sure, we were excited to have our team in the El Toro Bowl. Certainly a great event for Yuma and for Arizona Western College, and for the relationship we have with the Caballeros de Yuma. certainly a nice turnout. We estimated around 3,000 people at the bowl game, and certainly an event that we hope never happens again to one of our athletic programs, but I think we fought through it all right, and our team will be ready for 2014.
On the bright side of things concerning the athletic department, the grades by all these student athletes were just phenomenal this past semester.
Yeah, we're always pleased when our teams do well in the classroom. Certainly we understand and recognize and talk to our teams and our coaches and our boosters about the importance of education and what our teams do. And for the first time in my history at Arizona Western, our overall grade point average of our athletic department, over 200 student athletes, was over a 3.0 cumulative grade point average. So we're really excited about that.
Another thing that probably excites you is looking at the football team and even some of the other teams. They're sending their student athletes on to the next level to some big name Division I schools.
Yeah, we're always excited about that when we watch Saturday games and we see our athletes that performed at Arizona Western at a Division I school on national TV and national exposure, and we had 15 players in Division I bowl games over the holidays. So we're really excited to see our young men be able to come here, do well in the classroom, do well on the field, and then move on to a Division I football program.
Now we're a little bit beyond midway through the basketball season here in these winter sports season, but what are your overall impressions, both of the women's and men's team?
Well, our men's team's really been performing well. We've got some really good shooters, some really good guards. Obviously, we're tied for the conference leadership with Mesa with one more game to go in the first round. Our women struggled a little bit right after Christmas, but came back with an overtime win. They're actually one game back of second place on the women's side. Hopefully we can get it back together the way we're playing before Christmas and move on up and be at least in the second spot for the playoffs in women's basketball.
And before you know it, we'll be talking spring sports, baseball and softball just around the corner.
Yeah, I was talking to Coach Keene this morning. We're 3 weeks away. 3 weekends, and we open our season in Las Vegas for baseball and softball. So we're certainly looking forward to both of our spring sports being very competitive.
Well, it should be fun. Jerry, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll have to catch up before the school year's over and recap the whole year.
Good.
All
Thanks,
right.
Derek.
That was Athletic Director here at Arizona Western College, Jerry Smith. More to come, so don't touch that dial. You're tuned in to the Bullring. Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of the Bullring. A big thank you to all of our coaches who joined us, as well as J.C. Pagala, our January Student Athlete of the Month, and Athletic Director here at AWC, Jerry Smith. A reminder to come out and support the Matadors this week. The basketball teams will be at home on Wednesday and Saturday, but if for some reason you can't make it out to the games, you can always watch the games right here on AWC TV or tune in on the radio at 560 KBLU. Next week, we'll start to get you ready for the spring sports season as we'll talk baseball and softball. And speaking of baseball, the AWC Alumni Baseball Game will be on January 25th at 1 p.m. So mark your calendars now and make sure to come out to this fun event that kicks off the 2014 Matador baseball season. I'm Derek Diesner saying so long. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's edition of the Bullring.